5, 6, 7, 8. It's a mess, sis. Oh, it's a mess, sis.
Hello, everybody, and
Oh, it's a
welcome
mess,
to the
sis.
podcast. It's a mess,
Oh, it's a
sis.
mess,
So, what
sis.
exactly is a mess?
Oh,
A
it's a
mess
mess,
is a
sis.
situation or a state of affairs
Oh, it's a
that is
mess, sis.
confused or full of difficulties.
Oh, it's a mess,
The
sis.
mess is when things don't go
Oh,
the
it's a
way you
mess,
plan.
sis.
It is when you have to go off script,
5,
improvise,
6,
ad
7,
lib,
8.
sit through the
It's a mess,
awkwardness,
sis.
and breathe through the pain until you
Oh, it's
come
a
out on
mess,
the other
sis.
side, because you will come
Oh,
out
it's a
on the
mess,
other
sis.
side. It is everything that makes
Oh, it's
life
a mess, sis.
interesting and transformative. It is
Oh,
what
it's
we
a
are here
mess,
to do.
sis.
It is how we learn how
Oh, it's a
to
mess,
be.
sis.
So, join us as we
Oh, it's a
dive
mess,
into
sis.
this week's mess.
Oh, it's a mess, sis. Oh. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to It's a Mess, Sis, my favorite podcast. I'm Jess, working through the mess, and I am so glad you came back to hang out with us again.
And hi, I'm Rena. I'm your other host. And welcome. We are proud that you are here.
That's hilarious. Okay, that was a segue to the title, which is episode 66. You are joining us for Make Me Proud. Does having queer pride affect your life? And so we will dive into that in just a little bit. But before we get to the full episode, we have a little segment called What's the Mess? So I'm going to ask Rena, what is your mess?
Okay, so my mess, it's
Wow, hand motions.
I know, right?
Fingers.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for letting people know, for the people who are
Yes.
listening,
Yeah, and not watching.
instead of it just being like an awkward silence.
Right.
I'm really, my mess is that I'm really holding on to my optimism.
Okay.
Like tooth and nail, like just, with the optimism. Like, and I know in this podcast, I'll be saying some stuff and it really be sounding like I really don't want to be here because I don't, but I be trying. I really be trying.
Fucking weak.
Like that's really my mess. Cause like I fight every single day to be here and to be happy. And it's work. I'm realizing to be happy is work. And I just want to be gay in the literal and figurative sense.
Come on, happy and gay.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just like right now, a lot just, I feel like the universe is coming for me.
Okay.
I don't know if it was that Mercury retrograde. I think there's a Saturn retrograde. And me and Uncle Saturn, we don't be getting along. We butt heads a lot. The OG Saturn. Because he want to come teach you lessons and he wants you to show up as you are.
Right.
He wants you to be yourself. Well, how can I be myself with no ID? I lost my wallet. I lost my social security card. I lost my identity. So how am I supposed to be Saturn? How am I supposed to be me? I lost my work ID. I lost every single thing in my possession that identifies me.
Damn.
And then I was driving in my car and it was hot. It was hot. And
outside?
It was hot outside, but it was even hotter in my car. And I was wondering why. Because the AC is supposed to be on. I'm looking at the light and there's a light and it's lit up. But
that's never good.
But there's no air. There's no cool air. It's hot air.
Not the heat blowing.
Then I realized, okay, my AC has gone out.
Oh, damn. Lost the AC too.
Lost my AC. I lost my cool. I lost my identity.
Lost your cool.
And lost my cool. And I just but I'm proud of myself.
Okay. Wow. That was, beautiful.
Because like I said, I want to be happy.
Yeah.
And I Pollyanna the hell out of this situation.
Okay.
This whole ordeal. And I stay grounded in this meat suit that I'm in, this hot ass meat suit.
Come on, meat
that
suit.
is life. And like, I just still like, why? Why? What am I being prepared for? Like, why so much?
Yeah.
But then I don't care either. And yes, that is my mess. That's it.
That was a mess. That was such a wild ride. I really enjoyed it. That went up and down and straight and sideways and a myriad of ways in between. But I am glad that you're here in your meat suit. I'm also glad that you found some positivity in all of the things, some grounding. I think it's funny because it is, sometimes we just go through shit and you're just going to go through shit. But I think bettering yourself and understanding yourself and self-healing and all this stuff that we're doing is just for moments like this where you can say, this shit is fucked up, but I'm gonna be all right, or I'm good, or whatever it is. It's for these moments where shit is all astray or askew that you can still find a way to ground yourself. And I think that's really beautiful.
I'm glad that you think so.
That's hilarious.
And yeah. Yes. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Yes, you're very welcome. Hell no. No, but for real, I know it doesn't feel good right now, but the fact that we can laugh about it a little bit and it's not, the end of the world. It sucks. Oh, it is the end of the world. Okay.
No.
Okay, exactly.
But that wouldn't be
bad. Wow, Rena, this is not what we're gonna do on this podcast. 2 podcasts in a row. I'm sick of it. Absolutely not.
Okay, you're right.
Okay, suck it up, Buttercup.
Right. Okay.
Get some Grace and Knees.
Yeah.
Sprinkle a little bit of that on you. Feeling better?
No, but yeah.
Okay, well, wow, wowzers. Okay. Is there any more to the mess? So that's just it.
Nope, I don't want to speak any other ill into existence.
That's hilarious. But
so you?
Okay, me.
Yeah, you.
My life has been incredibly busy.
Okay.
Like very busy. And I'm grateful for the wave of activity. I'm in a play. I think I mentioned this before. It will open Juneteenth weekend, and this upcoming week is Tech Week. So if any of you know what Tech Week is, it's really where you kind of finalize a lot of the details. Or it's the pre to Tech Week. So it's still like a lot of fixing and and then next week is Tech Week. So it's like 2 weeks of like all night rehearsals type shit. So I'm actually really looking forward to it. One of the roles, so the play that I'm in has beignets, and so it's like small little 1 or 2 or 3 people, snippets of the full thing. And so one of the roles that I accepted is like a lot more emotionally complex than I originally thought. And because of that, I'm having to like dive really deep into so many emotions. And I feel drained some nights after rehearsals.
Okay.
But then I sit and really think about what kind of drained that I am. And I feel grateful because I've been drained before. Like I've been drained of life and feeling like, I don't know.
Sound like me.
No, I mean, yeah, I have been because I wasn't in a place where I was supposed to be. So I was just drained of like everything. So this drained, I was sitting with it and I was just realizing like how excited I am to be pouring myself into this role because this is the kind of life that I want to live. This is what I hope to do for the rest, is entertain in this sort of way, whether it be my music or my acting or both, which is what I'm doing with this, combining it on stage and just putting it all out there on the stage and just coming home and I'm like, I'm crashing every night because I'm giving it all to the stage. So the mess is just that like sometimes shit just comes full circle and you're just so excited. I mean, there's still the struggles, there's still the life, there's still all the things, and I'm aware of them and I'm taking care of them, trying to, but it's moments like those that I'm just really so grateful. I mean, really, that's the basis of it. I'm just so grateful. Like, wow. I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, that's my mess.
That's beautiful.
Thank
that's
you.
Inspiring.
Thank you.
I want to be drained in a way that's, meaningful, not just drained because somebody has taken from me, but like because I've exhausted myself doing something that I enjoy. So that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
It is. It's a really good mess. I'm really grateful for it this week. We'll see how I feel in 2 weeks. So I'll let y'all know.
Oh, you're gonna be
I'm gonna be so excited because in 2 weeks it'll be my opening. And so I'll tell y'all how it goes. But Okay, so that's the end of our mess segment. Thank you for joining and tuning in for that. If you'll remember, we are on episode 66, Make Me Proud. Does having queer pride affect your life? Okay, so why did we choose this topic? This actually was my topic. And we definitely wanted to celebrate Pride Month and stand also in solidarity with people all across the world who still need to know that it's okay to be themselves, who still need pride, you know, in such a big, massive explosion of like, we're together type thing. But also, I just thought about the fact that the need for pride has to really take effect and take hold in a lot of other areas of your life. And so I kind of wanted to explore that. And why did you agree?
Because it's pride, and I got pride, and you got pride, we got pride
together.
And you know, there's power in it, and I don't think I've ever really thought about pride in this way.
Okay.
Like thinking about like how does like having queer pride, gay pride, how does it impact your life? Like,
yeah,
I think it's just something that I've always just assumed like the elevated gays have, you know.
Okay, come on, elevated gays.
Or just, you know, it's like, you know, you get to that point where you have it and you have it and you get it and you have it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I think, yeah, I'm just intrigued. I'm really intrigued to see where this goes.
Okay. That's lovely. So we're going to dive right into the episode. But before we do, why don't you let the people know what the agenda is for the episode?
Okay. So the agenda, as always, is to dig it down, which stands for define, impact, and cope. So this episode, we define what it means to be proud or to have pride, and discuss the impact of having pride in our sexuality on the totality of our lives, and then round it out with how we cope. One thing to note, we make each section clearly known so that you can follow along with us, with others, with yourself. So feel free to pause where you see fit to give yourself time to just think, write, journal, reflect, or just keep listening, whatever works for you.
Thank you. That was lovely. All right, folks, we are to the definition. So, yes, you have something to say.
No, I don't.
Oh,
I was just like,
oh, you just opened your mouth.
It was for effect.
Oh, wow. Okay, nice.
For impact.
Come on, impact. Okay, so the definition. Being proud is defined as feeling deep pleasure or satisfaction as a result of one's own achievements, qualities, or possessions. And pride is an emotional response or attitude to something with an intimate connection to oneself due to its perceived value, right? Now, when I think of the pride I have in my sexuality, I have to think also of the shame I initially had. So my pride grew from a need to understand this self if I was going to continue being this self.
Yeah.
And I think I tried for years to dismiss or pray away these feelings that I couldn't explain. And that was really detrimental to my health, mental, physical, emotional, all the things. And I think once I finally learned or like leaned into being a real part of, once I leaned into it being really who I am, I was able to start dismantling the lessons I had been taught about what it meant to be queer and my perceived worthiness or lack of worthiness. I began to lay a new foundation. And from there, I was able to build such a strength that it was only right that it spilled over into other places in my life. So that is my definition and how it has had affected me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
questions
that.
Or would you like to do your definition?
I'm going to do my definition.
Okay.
And then we'll see where it goes from there, if that's okay with you.
I will allow it.
Okay. So my definition of having pride or being proud. So I see having pride, especially if we're talking about the LGBTQ plus all those letters. Wow, I feel like a really bad gay right now.
Same.
Because you couldn't help me.
I sure couldn't. You saw me silent over here. I was like, Yep. All that. So much for pride. I'm just playing.
Being a part of the community. I see it as finding joy in having unconditional love and acceptance for oneself.
Yeah.
So pretty much kind of sort of what you said. You put a lot more in there. Yeah, it's similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like what you said about, pride arising out of this need. Like you had to have it. Like, it developed because you needed to understand yourself and accept yourself if you were going to continue to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I like that. Okay. Yeah. So then that was our definition, but now we're going to move on to the impact of this thing.
Oh, gosh.
And I know that for me, I think the impact of building strength and pride in being queer is that it allowed me to find pride in other things where I was an outlier, right? So being Black plus size woman means I am a part of 3 of the most hated and talked about communities, honestly. You know what I mean? So having the strength to stand in my queerness has given me the strength to stand in all communities I'm a part of with grace for myself and an unapologetic love for that as well. Now, it's not as easy for real when you're inundated with messages that you are less than because of the place in which you reside in those communities. Mm-hmm. But seeing how much love I have for my queerness gave me the rubric on how to be in these other spaces in which I show up. So I'm very into being a Black American. I love it. I find the beauty in our communities, and I am proud to say that I am a member of this community. I love Black America. I love Black Americans. And I'm specifying because not only are we hated on by those who live here, we're hated on by other people in the diaspora, we're hated on by a lot of things. And I refuse to let that intimidate or to marginalize me in my own head. I appreciate what it means to be a Black American, the struggles, the resilience, the beauty, the humor, literally, we are phenomenal. That's not to diminish anyone else. That's to say I am a proud member of the Black community. I am also so grateful to this body that I have. We're taught that if you are not this particular framework of body, that you are not worthy, that you are not beautiful. And I find beauty in myself every single day with this body. I have been learning more and more to love every facet, every crevice, every roll, every blemish. All those things are what make me up. And I have a strong body. I have a body that is healing. I have a body that is housing my spirit. And I love this body. And so I am a proud member of the plus size community. Like I am grateful for this body. And I am more than grateful to be a woman. I am a creator. I am a portal between universes. My body can create life. I can hold and create life if I were to choose, which I ain't gonna do. Say, this but I could. I could
just shut down.
My portal could be open, but it's not at the moment. But what I'm saying is, I am a vessel that is just so beautiful. I love my womanness. I love my sentimentality. I'm loving more and more the emotions of which I hold and house. I'm loving the way that I am multifaceted, multi-talented, a lot of things. And I'm grateful to be a woman. And I think I'm proud of all of those communities. And I always had pride in being a Black American. But I think it was kind of surface, it was because everybody was pushing against it. So it was like, no, I'm a push back type shit. But this love that I have, this pride that I have in being queer, being Black, being plus size, it's an internal thing. It has nothing to do with anybody else's voice, what nobody else is saying. Because now, being Black is like cool. Being plus size, being fat, whatever, that's cool now. Being a woman is cool now. So it's not the same level of like there's still the need, but what I'm getting at is not like so out there like it was. But my pride is not because of what anybody else says. It's because of how I truly feel about myself. And I think having to have the pride in being queer, having to have that pride so that I could mitigate the shame, so that I could tussle with myself and come out on the other side and say, this is who you are. You can choose to love it or you can choose to hate yourself. Like, what we gonna do? And having to really fortify myself against this hate that I was taught for a body, for a being, for a color, for everything, having to go up against that, against society, against my own brain, and coming out proud of the other side and coming out comfortable and coming out safe, has given me the strength to do that in all of the other communities. So that is the impact that this has had on my life. Yeah.
I like that. Like, I had so many thoughts kind of come up, just kind of like in everything that you were saying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay, so pride, it really just seems like it's definitely something that comes from you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like through that struggle, it's something that you fought for.
Right.
In spite of everything else society is telling you.
Yeah.
That you should feel about yourself. You're
Right.
saying, I am choosing to embrace this about myself and have pride in it. And it's like when you get pride in that manner, it's like nobody can take it away from you, because it's completely dependent on you and your belief about yourself.
Absolutely.
And then that kind of makes me think about like, like when your parents say like, oh, I'm proud of you, or like when people like take pride in you, and just like, does it hold the same weight like
as your own pride?
As your own pride. Yeah. Like, can you truly have pride in something if you don't believe it, if you don't feel it? Like, and it makes me think of like white supremacy. Because like they be so proud. I know I'm going off.
Yeah, that's a little tangent.
Okay. But like, I'm like,
I mean, I think you can have pride. I think you can. The basis of learning how to be proud can come from someone else.
Okay. But if
I think it, okay, I think, I'm thinking about my own self and my mom being proud of me and what that felt like. Right. So she said, I'm proud of you. Like, you did a good job. Like, I feel things inside when she says that. Right. So I have a basis of what that looks like. If somebody says, I'm proud of you, what that feels like externally to me. So then when I have that same pride, I'm trying to recreate that, but within my own self. If I say, I'm proud of you, now I have those moments where I say, I'm proud of you. And it has that, that's that same emotional response that I'm having to myself saying it. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't know. But I do feel like you can learn what it is to have pride, or to be what it means for someone to be proud of you, and to learn that for yourself through that. I don't know if that makes sense.
It makes sense.
What do you think?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because I think of like moments where I felt like people were really proud of me, but I wasn't proud.
Okay. See, that there is a difference.
So, yeah. And I feel like in order for me to be proud, like I have to unlock that. Right. I don't know if it can't be solely external, but it can be a combination of both. Like, like you have to resonate with it.
Right. I think I'm thinking like when you're little and you've done something that you're so excited to show your parent, and they're like, I'm so proud of you. And you're proud too, because you were like, but maybe you didn't have the articulation for it. But then you like it gave you the words of like how you're feeling, like, oh, I accomplished this. I drew all of this, mommy. And you're feeling that feeling that you feel. And she says, I'm proud of you. Or you cleaned up all your toys in a timely fashion, or whatever it is that your parent gives you that for. And maybe you have the feeling already, but the articulation, I think, is what is the combination. So yeah, you're right. It does need to come from within. It needs to be something that you feel that about.
Right.
But I don't know. Right? Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just kind of I'm taking it all in. Like I'm having like halfway questions popping into my head, and then and I'm like, I don't even know how to ask that.
That's funny.
But yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So, but now your impact.
Okay. My impact. So I guess I want to start from the beginning. So how is queer pride how's that developed? How has that impacted my life? And other areas. So like when it just comes to like my own like acceptance of myself, like, of course I ran from it at first, I felt misunderstood. I didn't want to be different. So, I hid it, and then somehow some time goes by, I started paying my own bills. Then I faced it, and
that's real.
It's easy to have pride when you're paying your own bills.
I know that's right.
I'm like, hey, damn it, if I'm going to be out here in this world paying bills, I'm gonna be me, damn it.
Okay.
And so then, somehow I embraced it. And I think the biggest impact was that in order for me to be able to have that pride, I had to accept myself, be okay with me, knowing that there are people who won't be okay with me.
Yes.
And those people could be friends and family, and still make that intentional decision to choose me and my joy over everyone else.
Yeah.
And I realized by doing that, that's one thing that having gay pride has taught me, that, in order for me to have a full life, I have to accept myself, I accept my individuality. And I had to be for me first and foremost. So that kind of became a mentality, which bled into other things. Yeah. So, and I feel like I'm still developing that mentality. It's still growing within me. So in a nutshell, I've always been, this has forced me to challenge myself, or I felt like I've always been challenged to have to think for myself.
Yeah.
And to make decisions for myself, and people not understanding me forced me to learn how to understand myself.
That's real shit.
Yeah. So, then you end up making those decisions beyond just, queerness. It's kind of like, okay, well, what do I want my job to look like? Or what do I, still struggling with that. But like, or what do I want my living situation to look like? Do I want to, I know I keep talking about living in a van, but maybe I do want to live in a van,
It keep coming up.
It does. It comes up like every episode, or, do I want a 4-bedroom house, which is seen as the more acceptable option. Yeah. So, it's forcing me to literally like custom design the life that I want. Yeah. It's like people already don't like what I do, and it's just taught me I can't please everybody. Yeah. So, and I put so much time into pleasing everybody, and then I wasn't getting pleased. Yeah. So I was like, I need to snatch back all that energy and put that into me, because I can't please them anyway. So we're just wasting my energy on them. Right. So yeah. And like, I think another big impact of like kind of being queer and like kind of, having to deal with, being different or being like on the outskirts, or just, deciding to live your life in a way that, certain people won't approve of. Like like that same thing, that's kind of like the dangerous part of it. It's also kind of a protector. So it's kind of like, okay, you don't like me because I'm queer. You're definitely not the person for me. Like, I don't expect you to be queer or to live your life the way I do. But if you're gonna, come and try to like either require me to change myself or diminish myself, that I'm like, that's a red flag about you. I'm gonna choose me because I wouldn't ask you to do that. But there's something up with you that you feel like you feel like you can ask me to do that. So I think, it's allowed me to kind of just say, by forcing me to choose myself, I've avoided kind of being in relationship with people who really weren't for me.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so that's kind of that's one thing, that's another thing that's come out of it. So yeah.
I feel that. I like that piece where you said about now it just left my head.
Oh man. I said so much. I
You
don't even know how
did,
to
but it
help
was
you.
some really good things about just, I think the fact that if I'm remembering it kind of correctly, the fact that you know that who you are is displeasing to someone or displeasing to a few people or a lot of people, and still having to choose yourself, that is such a powerful place to be,
Yeah.
because it allows you to make decisions that are for you. That it's like, I
Just for
know
you.
for a fact that this is the thing that I didn't choose, right? I didn't choose to be gay, but or
Trust me, I
queer, or
didn't.
whatever your label is. I didn't choose that, and you hate that, but I can't unchoose it. Maybe many of us have tried, so I can't unchoose it, so I'm going to love it. And I think that very decision gives you an open space to choose more shit. Like, I already know you're not gonna like this shit, but that's okay. There's something about me that a lot of people don't like, and I still get to wake up every day and be that thing. I still get to wake up every day and live this life. Whether you like me or love me, I'm still living a full life. So whatever decision I make in this life, it's my decision. There are going to be people that are not fond of your decision, and that's okay. I do think that's a very powerful place to be. So
it is.
I was like, yeah, absolutely.
I think, I take pride in that. Like, I really do feel like, being queer has given me this ability to like see through the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I already like don't fit into society.
Yeah.
So by accepting myself, it also gives me the freedom to question society.
Absolutely.
I'm like,
absolutely.
Well, you don't like me. Why is that?
Yeah.
What y'all got going on? Well, do I even like this?
Right.
Do I like society?
Right. Absolutely not. Fuck society. No,
so, I'm less likely to kind of just go along with things. I still go along with things. But, there comes a point where I'm kind of like, do I really have to do this? Because, hey, they said I was supposed to be straight, and I'm supposed to, open my portal and let all these children come flying out of it.
Open your portal? Ew.
You said it. I'm just using your words. You said you had
the way you said it sounded gross. Oh my God.
The way I said it, that's the way you said it.
I said it so beautifully. It's very poetic. It's like, I'm a portal between this universe and the next. You said, open my portal and let them crawl through. Like, what the fuck? I'm fucking weak. No, but I feel you. You're able to make the choices for yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, hey, I chose to accept myself.
Yes.
Not that I chose to be queer. I chose to accept myself.
Yeah.
And I did not die.
Right.
I am still here. And if I'm going to be here, I can't sit here and hate myself. And I feel like that's a big problem that we have in society, is that a lot of people hate themselves, and they want you to hate yourself too. Yeah. And I refuse to do that.
I'm not about to do that. That's a lot of energy.
That sounds, there's so much, like, I don't want to hate.
Yeah.
Period.
That's heavy. That's a heavy thing to hold. That's a heavy thing to hold. And it doesn't serve you. What if I continue to hate my queerness? I'm still queer.
Yeah.
I would hate my blackness. You're still black. You can bleach your skin all you want to, but bitch, you're still black. I can choose to hate the things about myself that just are, but I'm still that thing. And what a life to live, hating the thing that you are. Like, that's incredible. That's incredible. Like, so to be able to get to the place where you find pride in just being, in just existing, all the things that had to happen in the world and the universe, the stars aligned, your parents, whatever, everything happened the way it did for you to be here. There's so many babies that don't make it earthside.
Yeah.
And you're here. So to find the fact that you are proud of that is like, it's such a beautiful thing.
It is. It is. And that pride allows you to be authentic.
It does.
And that is like a smoke signal to your tribe.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that's like, I'm not afraid to be weird. It's
Mhm.
crazy how I feel like, being weird is really just you being an individual.
It is.
But because they don't want to they just want to sum it up and be like, oh, you're just weird. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, that's fine. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with being weird, strange, queer, all those words. Because I know I'm not alone.
Yeah.
And the more I am myself, the more I come across people who are similar and who I vibe with authentically. And there's nothing like accepting yourself, having that love for yourself, and being around like-minded people who also have love for themselves. And then that allows them to be able to share their love of themselves with you and to be able to then to love you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're only able to love others as much as we can love ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, in a way, like during Pride and having Pride, it's just people saying, I love myself over and over again. And that's who I want to be surrounded by.
Yeah.
People who love themselves, no matter what anybody else says.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think for me, seeing people who were so openly queer, openly gay, openly lesbian, just very much sitting inside themselves and saying, this is me and I love it. And I'm out here loving other people in the space, was definitely, that's why I said pride can sometimes you can see it from someone else and see what that looks like and kind of, shape it for yourself, because I didn't understand, it was a thing that was to be hated. It was to be despised. It was to be criticized and shamed, And so then to see people not in that way, not in that vein, not in that thought process, was to open up and say like, wow, I can live like that, to be proud of myself, to be grateful for who I am, to love authentically. So yeah, I don't know. It's really beautiful.
Like based off of what you just said, I'm like, wow, pride is really necessary.
It is.
Like there's representation, yes, but then there's also like pride, like prideful representation. People who are unapologetically just in love with themselves.
Yeah.
And not in like a narcissistic way, but just like who embrace themselves.
Right.
And just embrace their humanity and just embrace who they are.
Right.
And I just it's so needed. It's so needed, and it's worth fighting for. And that's just it. It's a fight.
It is.
Like, oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. It just popped in my head. Do you feel like, and I kind of already know the answer to this, but do you feel like if it wasn't an oppressed thing, that there would be a need for pride? That because I think about being straight, and it's like, you don't need no straight pride. That's just what it is. I think about being white. You don't have to have white pride, because y'all have been normalized as like the human, and everybody else is the outlier, even though we're the global fucking majority, but we ain't gonna go there. But I'm just saying, like, if there was no need for it,
would you still have pride in it?
Would you still have pride in it? That's what I'm curious about. If being Black was just like what it should be, which is the fucking norm, would we have to be like, I'm Black and I'm proud? We would just be Black. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't
know.
I don't think we would have to be, but we would still have to have pride in something. Okay. I think I feel like I would still have to have pride in being me.
As an individual, whatever that looked like.
Right.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Okay. I was curious about that, because I'm like, a lot of this stuff is birthed from pain, and it's birthed from rejection, it's birthed from hurt. But what does it look like if there's no hurt or pain or rejection around your being? How do you find pride in that, or do you need pride?
I feel like you need pride. What do you think? I
asked you. I'm always answering your questions. Think on your feet like I do, and answer my GD question, Rita.
Okay. I still feel like we need pride.
Okay.
Because I feel like having pride in yourself, like based on my definition, it's an unapologetic love. It's finding joy in being yourself and loving yourself.
Yeah.
So I feel like you need to have pride in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which is just love of yourself.
Mm-hmm. To me,
okay,
that's what it is.
I can see that. I mean, I don't know. I'm still tussling with the question in my head, honestly. But I do agree that we would have to find ways to love ourselves if we were. This is where I struggle, because when I think about being a little kid,
Mm-hmm.
you don't think about being other. You just are. You just exude love. You love your family, you love yourself, you think everything you do is fucking incredible, until maybe you get an outside opinion. So I don't know if you would need pride if everything was like cool, if nobody ever said that having freckles was fucking weird, or gingers, or black people, or queer, or whatever. If nobody ever said anything, would we even fucking know to not like it, to now then have to turn around and have pride in it? I mean, I think we naturally are just like, I'm me, and we feel, I mean, maybe we already come with pride. It's broken down and stripped away from us, and then we're having to like reclaim it. I don't know. This is the thought in my head, because I remember being a kid and not thinking about my body. I never thought about my body. I didn't think about my skin. I didn't think about my financial status. I didn't think about anything. My life just was. I had a good fucking time. I remember that.
Well, okay. I mean, does pride necessarily have to be associated with struggle? Because when I think about when I was younger, like I would say the thing I took pride in, and like you said, I probably had some help from like, adults or peers who are in awe. But like I was like a really like kind of limber and flexible kid. So like I could do like cartwheels and splits and things like that. So just kind of, I would take pride in that.
Yeah.
Or like I was a strong kid too. So, lifting stuff up, like I would take pride in that.
Right.
But
what if you never met a weak kid or a non-flexible kid? What if you were just existing before you saw that other people weren't that? Were you proud of that?
I feel like if nobody, I don't think it was ever like, it was never that, oh, I'm stronger than this kid. I think it was,
I'm strong.
Yeah, I think it's I'm strong. But there would be somebody there saying, oh, wow, that's cool that you can do that. Yeah. And that let me know, oh, I'm strong. Yeah. Not necessarily that I'm comparing myself to somebody, but oh, this person thinks this is amazing that I'm able to lift this. So,
and that's what I'm saying. Like if nobody ever said, you would have thought that was fucking normal.
Would have pride in it.
You wouldn't have pride in it. You were just like, oh, I'm lifting 200 pounds right now as a 2-year-old. It's just what I do. This is what all 2-year-olds do. You know what I mean?
That kind of goes back to like when we were talking about earlier, my first question is like, can you have pride
only internally
or only externally?
I don't think only externally, but I don't know that it can just
be internal. You don't think it's internal. Just innate. Can you just
innately be proud?
Well, like, okay, think about you, like when it came to like singing, right? That's something you love to do.
Right.
Like, do you just like the sound? Like if nobody heard you sing, you're just singing by yourself.
And I sing all the time alone. I love my voice.
Right. You take pride in that.
Yes, but I also I have an understanding that everybody can't do this. I hear everybody else.
So you say pride is kind of like based in kind of superiority a little bit, like just feeling
I don't know about superiority. It's a difference, though. I'm not proud of my artistic abilities. I don't think they're horrible, but they're not. They're not that. It's not like, oh, I or is it superiority? I don't know. I don't think so. I think I'm
if you make shitty art, could you just be proud of that shitty art?
Yeah, because if if it's not even the art that you're proud of, it's the doing, or even if it is the shitty art, you're like, I make really shitty art, and that's what I'm proud of. Like, everybody don't make shitty art. I don't know. I do feel like,
go ahead.
I don't know. I think there is something about being self-assured.
Right.
Can you be self-assured without outside validation?
I think so. I think if your pride is attached to joy, like that feeling of joy.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you'll take pride in that because you want that feeling. You want to feel that joy again.
You're right.
That's like why. What's his name?
Who?
Ice JJ Fish. That's probably why he keeps singing.
Fuck is you doing? Fuck is you doing? Yeah. And he, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
And because he takes pride in his singing, even though like some people would, say that is not what singing should be.
Mm-hmm.
He has fans. He
does.
People find joy in his music.
Yeah. I found joy.
Right.
She's hilarious.
Exactly.
So okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So I'm thinking like pride is that you get to that point, you accept this about yourself and you find joy in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You accept this about yourself and you find joy in it. Okay. I fucks with that. Now, how do we cope with all of this?
Okay.
Or did you have more questions?
No, you're the one with all the questions today.
I did have questions today. I was very intrigued. Do you want to go first about how you're coping?
Sure. Why not?
Okay.
So I cope by leaning into who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Even, leaning into who I am. Even like, for instance, when it comes to like queerness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So before this topic, I had proposed that we do the whole "Am I gay enough?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you were like, "We already did it," or whatever. But I bring that up.
You didn't have to tell them that.
But I bring that up to say, like, even in the queer community where we're all about pride, it feels like sometimes there's this pressure to have to do it the right way.
Yeah.
I think I even said it earlier, like, I was botching all those letters. I was like, I feel like a bad gay right now.
Right.
But, just leaning into who I am as an individual. I don't think there's one way to do anything. I think I just need to do me, and that can look and feel wrong to others, but my life isn't about them.
Right.
It's about kind of keeping the focus, keeping my blinders on and focused on my joy.
Yeah.
So that's how I cope. I cope by focusing on joy.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
What about you? How do you cope?
How am I coping? Well, I cope by continuing to love myself fully and with grace. I went from being a lesbian to being queer, to being a queer woman.
Being a portal?
To being a portal, possibly. I mean, and that honestly came with a little discomfort. And I had to go through, cut it out.
Sorry. Okay.
No, I literally had to go through those steps of acceptance again. So what I cope by knowing it's not just a one-time recipe, but knowing that I have the tools to continue to accept myself. You know what I'm saying? Like it will continue to be a journey. Something will change. The way that I treat other people, I had to go, I'm having to accept myself in a lot of different things. My queerness, I'm having to accept not being as selfless as I used to be. And that feeling very strange place to be so into me and what I'm doing, what I got going on. And that feels very weird. And just going through the same steps and the same action steps and motions to know that I can be at acceptance with myself, if given the time, given the energy, given the tool, given the steps, And so that's a wonderful place to be, to know that, maybe something can feel wonky, feel weird, but I can look inside myself. I can say, is this something we like? Do you want to be this way? Is it feeling good? And is this working myself through those steps and coming to acceptance of myself over and over and over again. And that's how I'm coping.
I like that kind of being able to be flexible enough to assess and shift and bend with the moving pieces.
Yeah. It's really, I mean, because you have to. Our lives are not us. I was gonna say static, but that's not what I mean. Our lives are not
rigid.
They're not rigid. They are
Not
going to
linear.
they're going to move and flow and shift and adjust. And one day you are a queer woman in a polyamorous relationship, and the next you are married to a man. Like, whoa, how did that happen? And you have to accept all of the pieces of yourself, whatever that looks like, and go with the joy. Go with the joy and find that and sit with it and say, this feels good to me. I like this, regardless of what I did yesteryear or what I'm going to do in the future. Right now, this feels good, and I accept that about myself. So, yeah,
it's it's interesting because it seems like being marginalized, like being queer, being a woman, being Black, and in no particular order, just being all of these things. It's like there's a struggle, but it's like it opens the world up for you.
Yeah.
It's like you are now have so many more options, so many different experiences you can have, because you're forced to be flexible or you'll break. So
so will.
Yeah, it's like playing a game in like an open world, like like
is this a video game reference?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I don't even play video games like that, but I really
That's
do
hilarious.
see life as a video game. It really feels like a video game. And if you're really rigid, you'll just stick to what stick to this one area, or you can go out there, you can explore, be bold enough to say, okay, I like this. Let me accept this about myself. And that opens up another door. I'm going to go through that door, and I'm going to deal with what's, behind that door. And it could be a beautiful experience that leads you to another door. And you're like, whoa, I accept this one thing. So you know what? Let me accept this other thing and go through this door. And the next thing you know, you've seen so much more. You've been exposed to so much more.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's dope. I love that. I feel like that's sort of the recap. The acceptance of oneself in whatever it is, whether it's your queerness or your Blackness, leads to a portal of acceptance for a lot of things about yourself. Honestly. Okay, not that portal, Rena. Jesus Christ.
I mean,
you're so ridiculous.
It could be that portal.
It could be. But I think it's lovely to find a grounding in yourself and saying, this is me. I love this about myself. I'm going to embrace it, and I'm going to embolden it, and I'm going to protect it, and all that it means to embrace and be proud of yourself. And so I am grateful for the people who have died and lost their lives and put their self on the line for us to be as proud as we are now in all of the different variety of communities that we are part of. Black people, queer people, fat people, women, all of the minorities, that have had to struggle and suffer to get us to this place where we have, the full range of our lives. And we still have a long way to go, but I'm very grateful for those people before us who've kind of blazed the trails. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
No, your recap, but you saw it. Like I had like a whole
I saw you,
eureka moment. But you know how they say like change is the only constant. But then I also feel like acceptance is also a constant. Like you can't make the change until you accept that changes are happening.
Absolutely.
And things are moving, things are shifting. So
absolutely. This was a dope ass episode.
Yes.
I didn't know how it was going to be. I mean, I kind of had a feeling, but I don't know. I'm really grateful for it, because I did have a hard time. And this is kind of going to be my shout out to. So I want to shout out to those of you who may be having a hard time with the acceptance of anything in your life. But especially with being queer, this is Pride Month. I want to shout out to those people that are still in the closet. We love you. Be safe there. We hope that you can make your way out, but do it at your own pace and when you feel safe and comfortable. But just know it is a beautiful world out here for those of us who have accepted our being, our essence, our joy, our loves. That's my shout out for the week. What
Yeah,
about you?
I love that. Yes, shout out to all of you who are, developing pride and having pride in your own way. But
Yeah.
and I also shout out to my damn self because I never
Period.
thought I would be this damn free. Like if you told like 15-year-old me, yeah, you're gonna have this queer ass podcast, this queer ass host, and
Right.
be really queer. And I would be like, no, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
Like that's
I'm
crazy.
gonna pray this shit away.
Like, no. I'm just like,
Absolutely not.
I'm just gonna resign myself to being alone. I'm just gonna
Right.
be a social recluse. That's like, I'm not doing that.
Right.
So to be here, to be an adult, to be queer, and have this much pride in just being myself,
Yeah.
that is just
phenomenal.
Man.
Yeah. Well, I'm proud of you too.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
And I'm proud of you.
Thank you. But I think that brings us to my favorite part. Yeah.
Yep.
And that is the meditation. If you are new here, what we do is take a couple breaths. We set an intention, take a couple more breaths, and then I let you go about your day. So what I want you to do for me is to take a big, deep breath. We'll take a second deep breath. And take one more deep breath. All right, now we will set our intention. I don't know what I was about to say. I intend.
Continue. Like continue to intend. Intend. I think you just did something. She's going to continue, guys.
I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue. I intend to continue. Now I got the giggles. I intend to continue finding acceptance in myself for the things that are a little bit uncomfortable or the things that I may find secret shame in. I continue to look in the mirror, tell those things that I am grateful for, that I love it, and that it can come out and play in the sunshine. And that is my intention.
I love that. I intend to continue to accept myself, even when I think the things that I think are weird.
Yeah.
To continue to embrace myself and be open to, how I show up to myself and to be honest. And loving and to be, give that unconditional love and grace to myself.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Okay, we'll take our last set of breaths. Take another big, deep breath with me. We'll take a second deep breath. And we'll take our last deep breath. All right. Your intentions have been set for the day. Go out there and flourish, sis. Today doesn't have to be a mess.
But it's okay if it is.
So Liz, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in again. We appreciate your continued support. As always, we're so grateful for your likes, your shares, your comments, all the things. If you have a topic idea you'd like us to discuss, please email us at itsamessespodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to also say hey to us. Give us a wave, a shout, a like, a blink, a listen on It's a Messes at Gmail. No, on Instagram. What I'm trying to say.
It's a Messes podcast. It's a Messes.
Y'all forgive us. It is late. This is way later than we ever record, but we love y'all. We want to get this out for y'all. So yes, hit us up, talk to us, let us know you love us because we love y'all. And is there anything else, Rena?
No, just be yourselves. Love yourselves.
Love yourself.
Take pride in yourselves.
Come on, take pride in yourself. Well, if that is everything, we're going to catch y'all on a slip. I'm sleepy.
I'm leaving that in there.
I know you are. If that is everything, we're going to catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.
You're a mess.
Silly.
Oh,
bye,
man.
y'all. It's a mess.
Hey, that's why I can't sing.
It's okay. He's gonna talk over my singing though. Okay, it's ready now.